wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. I request the dignitaries to kindly take their seats on the dais and grace the dais, please. A very good morning, everyone, again. I'm Kapila Shekhawat, and on behalf of the Graduate School IRI and the Genetics Club, I welcome each one of you to this brand new auditorium on this very, very special occasion of the Teachers' Day. Please be seated, keep silence. I'd wish to begin by extending the warmest congratulations of the Teachers' Day to all of you, although to some as teachers and to some as students. 5th September, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, we celebrate as Teachers' Day since 1962. On the birthday of India's former President Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan ji, he is one of the most respected teachers in many reputed universities, and he really loved and adored children. It's well said, everyone, that if there are no teachers, no other profession would also exist. It's a day when you appreciate teachers for having a tremendous impact on your life. They help you, they motivate you and guide you to become the best version of yourself. So it's a perfect day to commemorate and pay respect, express gratitude, and also to strengthen the bond of student and teacher. On this very fine morning, I welcome all the dignitaries on and off the dais who have joined the program. With all pride, pleasure and contentment, I extend a very warm welcome to most revered Honorable Professor S.L. Mehta sir, former Vice Chancellor MPUAT Udaipur and former Deputy Director General ICAR. We are extremely delighted to have you as Honorable Chairman of this session, sir. I request Dr. T.R. Sharma sir, Deputy Director General Crop Science ICR and Honorable Director IRI to welcome him by presenting a potted plant. Thank you very much, sir. We are also very pleased and equally honored to have with us this morning Professor Appa Rao Podileji, former Vice Chancellor, University of Hyderabad, the renowned and eminent speaker of Teachers' Day lecture. I request you, sir, to welcome him. Dr. T.R. Sharma, sir, Honorable Director IRI, respected Joint Director Education and Dean IRI, Dr. Anupma Singh, and Dr. H.K. Dikshit, sir, Professor Division of Genetics and President Genetics Club is also welcome to the program. We'll begin with the program with the invocation of Goddess Saraswati to take blessings from the deity of knowledge. The Vandana is being sung by the students of IRI. I request them all to come over the stage.
क्या चाहिए मिनिमाइज हो ये प्ले करके मिनिमाइज कर
Thank you all for your kind attention. And after taking the blessings from Goddess Saraswati, I now very humbly request and invite the dignitaries on the dais to kindly join the lamp lighting ceremony, followed by the floral tribute to Sri Radha Krishnan ji as a mark of honor. Thank you all very much. You may now please take your seats. And I now request and invite Dr. Anupma Singh, Honorable Joint Director Education and Dean IRI, for the welcome address and also to kindly highlight the importance of this day. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Kapila. A very warm good morning to one and all. Most esteemed dignitaries on the dais for this very auspicious function. Our esteemed chairperson of this year's Teachers' Day function, our very beloved former Dean IRI, Dr. S.L. Mehta ji. The speaker of the day, very, very special teacher that I revere him personally as, Dr. Professor Appa Rao ji, former Vice Chancellor of the Central University of Hyderabad. Our very beloved Director IRI and the DDG Crop Sciences, Dr. T.R. Sharma ji. My colleague, Dr. H.K. Dikshit, President of Genetics Club. Dignitaries in the front row, our former Dean, Dr. Rashmi Agarwal ji, Dr. V.P. Singh ji, Basmati ke Janak, my colleagues, Dr. Vishwanathan, Dr. Brahmananji, and my HOD colleagues, my professor colleagues, very, very dear faculty, and the most lovable students of IRI. On behalf of IRI and on my own behalf, I welcome you all to this auspicious morning session of the Teachers' Day 2024. As we all know that this day is celebrated to commemorate an exemplary teacher of this human era, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan ji, the second president of the country. As you know, every year I have been going through the various works and the various publications related to Radhakrishnan ji. More and more I go into deep of it, more and more it feels like I know so less. So Radhakrishnan ji, as you are all aware, this day is celebrated because this is his birth anniversary. And during his time, when his followers, his students, and his fellow teachers, when they wanted to celebrate his birthday in a big way, he had wished at one point of time that my day, this day, if at all, should be commemorated. It should be commemorated in the respect of the teachers who are the givers. And that should then, from then and there, the Teachers' Day is, this day is celebrated as the Teachers' Day. Since we are here on this very particular day, I would touch upon very few points about the thoughts of Professor Radhakrishnan ji rather than who he was, because we all know about that. As he said that he firmly believed that education has the paramount importance for growth and development of not only country, but in general, the human society. Dr. Radhakrishnan was also of firm opinion that good education, for good education system, there is a need of dedicated teachers. एक जो सूक्ति है by some saints that घर में घर दिखाई दे कि we ourselves are the source of enlightenment, and a teacher is one who shows us that how much energy, how much gyan we have internal in our internal self. So that is what is the role of a teacher. And for that purpose, he said that education does not mean only and only the intellectual growth of an individual by some worldly teacher. That is an all-round growth, that is at the spiritual level, that is at the psychological level, that is at the mental level, and also at the physical level. So the overall development of an individual by someone who shows the path, that is what he said, it is the education. So that's why, he believed in the holistic education, which is defined most aptly by the NEP 2020. So what he envisaged at that time as the education of the country, we are all are witness to that, and we are all a partner in shaping the agricultural education in the country through at that time dream of Professor Radhakrishnan ji. While there is so much to say, but because we are already running very late on time, so with that, I welcome you all to this very auspicious morning, and we look forward to have very interesting deliberations and interesting discourses from our guests of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the welcome address and also for highlighting the importance of this day. I now very humbly request and invite Dr. T.R. Sharma sir, Honorable Deputy Director General, Crop Science INCR and Director IRI, New Delhi, to kindly introduce the chairman of the session to this august gathering. So.
Very good morning to all, and happy Teachers' Day. Honorable Professor S.L. Mehta, former Vice Chancellor, Agriculture University Udaipur, and former DDG Education, ICAR. Professor Appara Paudel, former Vice Chancellor, University of Hyderabad. Dr. Anupama Singh, Joint Director Education and Dean, IARI. Dr. Harsh Kumar Dikshit, Professor Genetics and President Genetics Club, IARI. Dr. BP Singh, Basmati Breeder. Dr. Rashmi Agarwal, former Dean. Dr. Viswanathan, Joint Director Research, IRI. Dr. Brahmanand, Project Director, Water Technology Center, heads of the departments, teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my best wishes to all of you on this auspicious occasion of Teachers' Day, as elaborately mentioned by Dr. Anupama Singh, the relevance of this particular day, which was started on September 1962. And you know that our first Vice Chancellor and first Vice President and second President of India, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, was born on September 5, 1888. And this day was dedicated to the teaching community by Professor Radhakrishnan himself, so that we can know and understand the significance of teaching as a profession. We all are lucky that not only we are teachers, which are called as nation builder, but I would say that all the teachers and students associated with agriculture as a profession, we are not only nation builder but also nation feeders. We are feeding more than 144 crores population of this country, and it's all because of agriculture education which laid the foundation of Green Revolution at this very institute. We all are, those who are sitting in this hall and also connected online, are very lucky that we are associated with this great institution, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, which was established more than 100 years back in 1905. And it's one of the best institutes of the country. You know, every year in institutions ranking, we always top at the rank. So my congratulations to all of you on this very auspicious day, and I would say that we should resolve on this particular day that we'll try to do our best in this particular profession and train next generation of teachers in the country. There are so many things which have already been said, and we can read from the literature about an individual who served as a teacher. But I would like to quote a very important quote of Sant Kabir, and he has written, "Sab dharti kagaz karun, likhni sab van ras, सात समुद्र की मसी करूं, गुरु गुण लिखे न जाए." इसका भावार्थ ये है कि सब पृथ्वी को कागज, सब जंगल को कलम, सातों समुद्रों की स्याही बनाकर लिखने पर भी गुरु के गुण नहीं लिखे जा सकते. So you can see the thinking of that man who placed teaching community as at the top. And we all know, although sometimes we feel that teachers are not being recognized at various platforms, but matter of the fact and the actual truth is that without teacher nobody can progress in one's life. We always learn at every stage of our life one or other things from different individuals, and those who have done PhD, they started, if you look back and see your career starting from your KG classes to school educations to undergraduate study and masters and PhD, you come across so many individuals, those who have contributed in your life. And we should be thankful to our teachers that they have shaped our life and made us capable in such a way so that we can be able to serve the society in a better form. When we decided to celebrate this particular day at IRI, around 15 days back, I contacted Professor Apparao Podail, who is not only one of the best scientists of the country and fellow of all 4 academies, but also one of the best and dynamic vice chancellors of Central University of Hyderabad. The only thing which I would like to mention here, although Professor Mehta will read about his career achievements, but I would like to mention here that few years back, all institutions of the country, they competed for the grant for Institute of Eminence. We also competed from IRI, you might be aware of that. And 10 institutions or universities were recognized by Government of India by giving 1,000 crore grant to each of those 10 institutions. And I'm happy to share with you all that it was University of Hyderabad, when Dr. Apparao was Vice Chancellor, he got that Institute of Eminence for University of Hyderabad and made a lot of changes in the university functioning and created a lot of modern infrastructure. So when I contacted him, he was in a class. He is now professor there and teaching microbiology and host pathogen interaction to postgraduate students in different semesters. He didn't pick up my phone, and when he came back, he told me that he was in a class and he kept his phone in his office. So we have a professor with us who will tell us what education means and how he has contributed in higher education. So we are lucky that he accepted our invitation to be here this morning. Thank you, Dr. Apparao, for accepting our invitation. As far as our chairman of this session is concerned, when we thought of conducting this particular session, immediately the name of Professor Mehta came in our mind. The most important thing which came to our mind is that he is one of the best professors of this particular organization, who was, I think, appointed youngest professor of these institutions when he returned back after doing his postdoc from Canada, and served in different capacity at this organization up to Dean Postgraduate Studies, and then served as Deputy Director General ICAR in Education Division and made a lot of reform. So I contacted Professor Mehta and he immediately agreed to be here this morning. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. Although he is a known personality to all the people sitting here, particularly the staff members, but I would like to mention some of the achievements of Professor Mehta to the students who are sitting here and also connected online throughout the country, because this program is being telecast at all hubs of IARI throughout the country, and I'm sure that they will be benefited from the achievements of Professor Mehta and will learn lessons from his dynamic personality. So Professor S.L. Mehta has an outstanding academic record with the gold medal in ISc Agriculture and first rank in BSc Agriculture. He completed his master's and PhD from IARI. That is very good to know to all of us that he is alumnus of IARI and did 2 years postdoctoral research work at Department of Plant Science, University of Alberta, Canada. Sir, I was also there in that university for doing postdoctorate from 94 to 96, and your photo was there, kept there in the corridors, and I was very happy to see your photograph in the corridor of Plant Science, Department of Plant Sciences, University of Alberta, Edmonton. He also worked as Dean and Joint Director Education for more than 1 year and had been instrumental in PG teaching improvement in IRI by innovative approaches. And here I would like to mention that since I was working at Agriculture University, Palampur, and the training program which was run by Professor Mehta in molecular biology and biotechnology was famous throughout the country. And many of our colleagues, they got training in biochemistry division of IRI, and he was instrumental in initiating that particular training program, and they're still continuing as a center of excellence at this particular division. Professor Mehta is a recipient of a number of national and international awards and honors. He is the Fellow of National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, President of Society for the Plant Biochemistry and Biotechnology, and Indian Society of Agriculture Biochemist. He has been conferred DSc degree by CSA University of Agriculture and Technology, Kanpur, GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar, Central Institute of Fisheries Education, Mumbai, and UAS, Dharwad. So that's a rare achievement which an academician get in his life. So congratulations, sir. His research contribution, development of extremely low ODAP Lathyrus tivus and isolation and characterization of gene degrading ODAP have received wide acclaim. One of the somaclonal variant named Ratan has been released for commercial cultivation in the country, and therefore yesterday I was attending this annual workshop of Ravi Pulses. There I specifically mentioned, that also includes Lathyrus tivus. I specifically mentioned the contribution of IARI in developing low ODAP variety of Lathyrus, and the contribution of Professor Mehta, which is one of the very important somaclonal variant derived through tissue culture and have very less neurotoxin. You know that Lathyrus has neurotoxin, and it has, this particular variety has less than 0.2% neurotoxin, which is being cultivated throughout the country since long. Professor Mehta joined DDG Education and as National Project Coordinator AHRD project on November 10, 1995. Because of his initiatives and dynamism, there has been qualitative improvement in agricultural education. He put in motion a number of innovative steps, including new accreditation process, decentralization of decision making, motivation of faculty, management courses of managers of education, strategic plan development for educational institutions, institutions of faculty award for supporting excellence in teaching, development of quality instrumental material, etc. Everybody in the education system felt the impact of these initiatives and termed his period as a revolution in agricultural education. As an institution builder, he has developed one of the best facilities for research and education in the division of biochemistry, IRI, and subsequently in all state agriculture universities, and also culminated his academic careers as a Vice Chancellor of University of Agriculture and Technology, Udaipur. In 2002, Dr. Mehta joined as National Director of World Bank funded National Agriculture Technology Project, NATP. Many of us know about that particular project, and the project was streamlined and reviewed as one of the best projects by World Bank, and that is another honor to his cap. As a Vice Chancellor of MPUAT Udaipur during the period 2004 to 2008, many reforms have been initiated for quality improvement in the field of education, and Dr. Mehta also actively involved in establishing the Indo-Myanmar Advanced Center for Agriculture Research and Education, Yezin Agriculture University, Myanmar, as its resident advisor during the period November 2016 to 2019. And there is no doubt that Dr. Mehta's contribution and guidance in implementation of ACARE program was enormous, and that was established by Indian Agriculture Research Institute, and he was instrumental in developing that particular program. Professor Mehta was adjunct professor of IRI and NARM, Hyderabad. So colleagues, we have with us a very accomplished academician, educationist, and professor with us who is chairing this very important session, and I would like to thank Professor Mehta on behalf of all the faculty of IRI and of my personal behalf for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much, sir. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so very much for your wise words, sir. Thank you for introducing the Honorable Chairman of this session. And we all feel deeply honored to have such an eminent person with us. And I feel extremely happy to be able to now invite and request Dr. S.L. Mehta, sir, Honorable Chair of the session, to kindly introduce the renowned speaker of today's Teachers' Day lecture, Dr. Appa Rao, sir. And further request you to kindly invite him to deliver the lecture also, please.
Honorable Vice Chancellor and Director of IRI, Dr. T.R. Sharma, and distinguished speaker of today, Professor Appa Rao Podail, distinguished Dean of IRI, Dr. Anupama, Dr. Dixit, my friend Dr. V.P. Singh, Rashmi ji, Dr. Vishwanathan, and all project directors, ex-heads, present heads, faculty members, and my dear students and all those who have joined online. First of all, greetings to all of you on Teachers' Day. It's really a privilege for me to join you today for this very auspicious day, and I would like to thank Dr. T.R. Sharma for giving this opportunity. I would like to felicitate and convey my greetings to all of you for Teachers' Day. This is the finest day in our life, those who have touched the lives of the others. There cannot be a better day. If there is one profession in the world which is the best, in my view, is the teaching. Because a teacher who molds, who shapes the life of people is remembered whole life by students. And that kind of a pleasure you cannot derive by any other profession. But unfortunately, the kind of glamour and the kind of prestige attached to the profession of teaching vanished after independence. I don't know how to redo it, and let's look at some of the ways this can be reversed. But that's the major. If we have to accelerate not only agricultural growth but also development and be a developed nation by 2047, as our Honorable Prime Minister has said, there is no other shortcut, there is no other way than to look at education holistically and work for improving the quality of education at every level. Again, fortunately, Government of India has come up with the new education policy of 2020 given shape now. It's a revolutionary step. I must say that it's a revolutionary step, and it is based on 3 pillars. And those of you who have read this report would have known that it has given emphasis on faculty as upfront, quality of faculty, quality of leadership in the educational institutions, the student community as a whole and infrastructure. And if we really can take care of the 3, we can really make a major change. We had a meeting in Planning Commission, and at that time our budget was not being given. So at that time I said, Mr. Chairman, if you can't give this budget, mind my words, that we will not be able to keep 4% agriculture growth. This was 96. And because of that, Chairman raised my budget by 3 crore, and I was not very happy because I was demanding 10 crore and it was only 3 crore additional given. For improving quality of education, it is important that we support people who perform. That kind of support faculty which it deserves has to come. And therefore, in the new policy, there is a very specific mention of training of faculty also. It's not one-time function that we recruit a very competent faculty, then forget about it. So at every level, and most important part also is the leadership, the kind of leadership that these institutions require also. And first time we have policy looking at right from school education to higher education, and also providing freedom and selection of courses and streams. It's a wonderful, but it all will depend how we implement it. And today we have a very distinguished speaker, Professor Apparao. And when I looked at that title, I was very happy. Drivers of Change for Higher Education. I think we all are looking forward to listening. I am sure we all know what are the major drivers, but to look into a holistic view and in an organic way, I think Dr. Sharma has done a wonderful job of inviting Professor Apparao. I have visited the University of Hyderabad in '96. That time Professor Govardhan Mehta was Vice Chancellor. At that time he said, you know, the kind of pride which people have. He says, Dr. Mehta, mine is the first university in the country which has computerization. I have given computers to my entire faculty. And I was very happy. So I asked him, how many faculty members you have? He said, 180 faculty members. I said, then it is possible. We have a very large faculty in agriculture. But when I came back, my first priority was to make sure I also say from the podium that I have also in ICR system provided computers to every my faculty. No, that's the kind of leadership. And another thing which in the morning at the breakfast we were talking, and I was just saying that we need to take people like Govardhan Mehta as Vice Chancellor. And then he said, he is still with us, and point that he said that we have made him a lifelong distinguished professor of University of Hyderabad. This is the kind of, the prestige being given to people who have contributed to this. So I was very happy. I think we need leaders who can think ahead and also recognize the effort done by different people. If today we can, another incident I want to narrate is, I was traveling from Hyderabad to Delhi, and Professor Kalam, at that time he was not President of India, and he was sitting. So I went to him and I said, sir, you have made us proud. And immediately said, no, you agriculture scientists have made us proud. He said, if we were not self-sufficient in food, we could never have become a nuclear power. That was his so much generosity of recognizing the work of others rather than self. I think that's the kind of traditions which, thousands of people have built in this country. So today, if we have succeeded in agriculture front, whether it's a nuclear front, space front, whatever you name, we have done it because we have established institutions of learning. All institutions may not be high-end, but there is some institution, some organization which we can say that's the best in the world. And that's the kind of, because of that, we have been able to really achieve the kind of status which we have today. It's my great pleasure to give introduction for Professor Apparao. It's very difficult to say in few words. Professor Sharma has already said, but best part which I would like to say is that he's an outstanding teacher, committed teacher, and very long period of teaching. So I always keep high value for the teaching. Anybody who does teaching, he makes a future generation for this country. And therefore, we welcome you here. And he's also a renowned administrator. Professor Sharma said, University of Hyderabad got a grant of about 1,000 crores. It's a remarkable. And it cannot come without providing leadership and also trying to convince of what good we have done. He has been Vice Chancellor of University of Hyderabad for almost 6 years, and under his leadership, the institution got an institution of eminent status. He is a fellow of all 4 prestigious academies of the country: Indian National Science Academy, National Academy of Sciences, our own National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, and NASI. That's a rare combination that you get the fellowship of all these four prestigious universities. He is also a recipient of our Professor K.C. Mehta Plant Protection Award of NAS. It's again a prestigious, most of you might know Professor K.C. Mehta's phenomenal work in the area of plant protection, and therefore it's a really very prestigious award. He's a recipient of J.C. Bose Fellowship from DST, Tata Innovation Fellowship from DBT, and many other awards. He's also got an honorary degree from Ram Manohar Lohia, Awadh University, Faizabad. He's a Fulbright Fellow in the academic leadership. He also served as chairman of Southern chapter of AICTE. I was wondering, when I looked at the biodata in AICTE person, as an academician, because AICTE is mostly technical group. And as I said, he's a committed teacher, guided students, published several, more than 100 papers of very high international rating, edited many books, over 6,000 citations, and also age index of 43. Therefore, it's a great pleasure for me also to request Professor Apparao to deliver this lecture. Thank you very much.
Respected Professor Mehta, who has been Vice Chancellor of MP University of Agricultural Science and Technology at Udaipur, and also the former DDG Education at ICR. My good friend, Professor T.R. Sharma, the DDG Crop Science, and also currently the Director in charge of IRI and the Vice Chancellor of this deemed to be university. Professor Anupama Singh, the Dean and Joint Director, Education. Dr. Dikshit, my well-wisher and good friend, Professor Rashmi Agarwal, who also has been a former Dean, and several other distinguished faculty, students, ladies and gentlemen, those who are here and those who have joined online, I would like to extend at the outset my greetings to everyone here on the Teachers' Day. And it is a very special occasion for me to be at IRI to share my thoughts. When Professor Sharma contacted me, I said I was very happy about it, and also I thought it was it would be a wonderful opportunity to be with all of you on this very, very special day. And during the conversations today and otherwise also, 1962 has become something very special to me now. 62, Professor Mehta mentioned that he first has come to IRI, and 62 is the year that the Teachers' Day we started celebrating, and 62 was the year of my birth. So it coincides. I would like to thank Professor Sharma for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts, and Dr. Anupama and Dr. Atul for coordinating this entire visit that I am here with you today. I would like to say, well, many good things have been talked about, and about the Teachers' Day also I may not re-emphasize on certain things. Rather, what I would like to talk may not be directly relevant to the agriculture alone. Let me tell you the reason I don't want to venture talking about agriculture alone in IRI. Because I am not a person with direct agriculture background, I should not venture to do that. But I would rather try to speak to you about higher education in general, where I have little more of exposure compared to some of you. And I thought they may be relevant and you may be able to link them up to the extent that will be useful for agricultural education and research as well. I always used to tell as Vice Chancellor on different platforms in the university, most often in the university, not outside the university, that as teachers and as an institution, we have to find ourselves whether we want to be relevant or we want to be redundant. It is in our hands. This has been my slogan many a times, and which sometimes must have attracted criticism and sometimes must have attracted applause, but it is it's a part of the game. When you are an administrator, you will have both. So similar thoughts maybe I will share with you on this occasion today. And this Teachers' Day holds a great promise for us in India because it acknowledges the vital role played by the educators in shaping the individuals of the society. This celebration, of course, we know, honors the teachers' dedication to imparting knowledge and values, fostering curiosity, and molding future generations. Teachers are the foundations of quality education. I'm trying to emphasize quality education, and often take pride in their students' success. We celebrate this September 5th because of it is the birthday of our Bharat Ratna, Sarvepalli Radhakrishna, who has been, for about 30 years, he was into some kind of administrative role or the constitutional role that he has played. For about 15 years, he was Vice Chancellor at Andhra University for some time, and then at Banaras Hindu University for some time, and later he was 10 years first Vice President and then second President of the country. I'm more happy to talk about him on this day because he happens to be from a Telugu family in those days, the Madras state. It was a Madras state in which he comes from a Telugu family. I would like to talk about a little about the formal primary education. The second half of the auditorium, I'm sure most of you have undergone this kind of school dress, uniform dress, convent education, school education, where you have a group, this kind of dress system. And country as a whole, we also have this kind of a system. We have witnessed this kind of primary education also in a country like India. And I'm sure the people in this front part, some of them will share similar experience of what I have as at the primary education level. I never had a formal schooling up to my 6th standard. And it was this kind of education that I had. There used to be a person in my village who will bring a few of us like this, no special dress, no special books, no bag, nothing of the kind. He will teach what he wants, and some of them, most often, would be some Telugu alphabets, and maybe there is one book, we call it as Bala Siksha. That's like you can understand Bala Siksha. From that, he used to tell some stories, and a little bit about, sorry, it looks like I have pressed something here. Can somebody help? He used to train us in a more informal way, and that is how I have done up to my 5th standard, so-called 5th standard. Nothing like class 1, class 2 for me. Nothing like that. And when I entered in the school, we started learning English alphabets. We started learning other things like maybe tables in mathematics and other kinds of things. From that kind of education, I always feel happy that I have gone into an institution which Professor Mehta was narrating, an institution like University of Hyderabad, as a faculty member, and served for about 35 years, so by now, as a teacher. I was teaching, Mehta sir, Sharma ji was telling that I was in class. Yeah, I don't carry my mobile to the class because I don't like to get disturbed in the class. In these 35 years of service, we have trained so many students, and all of them, many of them send greetings to you today, and all it happens to all the teachers. That's the satisfaction that all of us have. And even as Vice Chancellor, I used to take classes. I used to go to the class and teach even when I was Vice Chancellor. And my lab, we were running a full-fledged lab during that time without any interruption. And in fact, if somebody looked at my profile more closely, the scientific output that I had during my tenure as Vice Chancellor was definitely better than what it was when I was teacher alone. So I feel happy about that because it was a university which has given us such a great opportunity, and some teachers, I'm sure, sitting in the front would share similar experience of mine at school level. Because those days it was not common, and I had to walk at least 6 kilometers to go to the school when I joined that school. And so in my village there was no school, and that was the only teacher. I have great respect for that teacher who taught me in those formative years up to 5th standard. This is a great man that we have talked about. I would like to congratulate all the stakeholders of IRI on this occasion. Your institute has been consistently ranked as the best in India for agriculture, distinguished by high quality research achievements, the economic impact with the global research, an aspirational mission, and enviable academic reputation. Enviable academic reputation. The IRI's ascendance is widely admired, and its approach to institutional innovation, a combination of inspired leadership, a faculty committed to excellence, students with distinguished achievements in post-graduation and doctoral programs. I don't know, by now, undergrads have come out by now. That's where I mentioned about post-graduation and doctoral programs broadly support the IRI's aspirations in higher education. IRI is not only the premier agricultural institution of the India, but is a larger institution today than it was a few decades ago. I used to come to mycology plant pathology then, and those days it was small, and today it is much larger institution. In an institution where men have historically outnumbered women by a large margin, now women make up to a significant faculty and student population. I can see in the back, and I can also see in the front. This makes the visitors like me to the IRI to be delighted about this institution. I was talking about three things: quality, knowledge, and the creative mind. These three form the plank for the higher education, and they should resonate in higher education institutions all the time. Knowledge is a familiarity, awareness, or understanding of something, such as facts, information, descriptions, or skills, which is acquired through experience or education by perceiving, discovering, or learning. Knowledge can refer to a theoretical or practical understanding of a subject. The economic development of a country, to a large extent, depends on the quality of education. Economic progress can be sustainable only if the higher education system is equipped with stringent quality assurance processes. Quality is a critical factor in influencing the educational outcome of the educational institute on one hand, and employability of its graduates on the other. This in turn depends on the quality of teachers at all levels in general and in higher education institutions in particular. These days we find a lot more focus on quality in the field of higher education than ever before. In fact, it is the concept of quality that makes higher education even higher. Earlier, the pursuit of higher education was more elitist. The focus used to be on knowledge for the sake of knowledge. However, the massification in higher education, many institutions have come. Somebody was asking me yesterday, I think Dr. Atul was asking me, how is that I landed in Sardar Patel University for my master's and PhD. It was not available sufficiently for many people those days. And today, wherever you want, you have higher education institutions, you have plenty of them available. With the massification of higher education in the wake of knowledge-based and technology-driven modern economies worldwide, we find the focus shifting to employability of the students in a rapidly changing world of work. The quality education implies not only equipping the students with requisite knowledge and skills for their chosen career, but also to prepare them for lifelong learning. It is expected to train the students to think and act critically beyond university. Remember this, think and act critically beyond university in the interest of the society and the mankind. To ensure the quality, we need to be accurate, original, and relevant. I am using three words: accurate, original, and relevant. To achieve this, we need to follow specific standards. We need to make sure our approach and outcome are reliable and valid. A common remark about quality, as some of you would know, a general saying about the quality is, you know what it is, yet you do not know what it is. I hope you agree with me. You know what it is, yet you do not know what it is. Many stakeholders in higher education would find it difficult to precisely define quality. In reality, it is a concept that means different things to different people. For instance, while discussing the quality of a higher education institution, students may focus on the facilities provided and the perceived usefulness of education for future employment. Teachers, on the other hand, may pay attention to the teaching-learning process. Management may give importance to the institution's achievements. Parents may consider the achievements of their children. Finally, employers may consider the competence of the institution's graduates. Each stakeholder has a different approach in defining the quality. In the case of higher education institutions, we should bear in mind that an institution may be of high quality in relation to one factor or in the perspective of a category of stakeholders, but of low quality in relation to another. In higher education, an institution that demonstrates exceptionally high standards for more factors is seen as a quality institution. For example, you are standing as one of the best institutions in agricultural education today. Likewise, IIT Chennai and IISc Bangalore have been consistently rated as the best institutions of higher education in the country. The power of the creative mind forms the part of the creative power of the universe, which means that our thoughts work together with it. By harnessing the creative power of the mind, we can create positive changes in our lives and achieve our dreams. Any transformation that has to occur in higher education, there should be a willingness to change. Unfortunately, as Professor Mehta mentioned, the education policy of the country never has been revised for decades, where many things have been changing outside. And education policy remains static. And there can be multiple reasons for it. This is not the time to get into it. What is more important for us on this day to remember is that some of us in education have learned to remain in comfort zones. And we don't want to get out of the comfort zone. And that is one reason why we never wanted this change to happen. But willingness to change is a prerequisite if there has to be a transformation in higher education. The changing trends in higher education, we have to choose, for us to choose the right path in setting our goals for Viksit Bharat. The world is changing rapidly and higher education cannot afford to remain static. Degree of willingness to change with time will make us relevant or redundant, especially in higher education. In the changing world, the changes are determined not only by the society in which we live and grow up, but also by education, which therefore provides the means together with other social aspects to foster a global perspective in young people. It is necessary to guarantee quality in higher education institutions for societal development. The 21st century society is impactfully defining international force in global village in higher education. We have to quickly decide to stay relevant or allow degeneration to become redundant. And human resource is the capital for knowledge generation. All of us will agree with that without any second opinion on that. Knowledge generation is the process of creating knowledge and understanding through scientific research and dissemination of findings. It's a crucial aspect of higher education institutions, including research institutions like IRI or deemed to be institutions, universities, where scientific productivity and academic production are measured and various types of valid scientific products need to be generated. Knowledge generation can occur formally through directed research and experimental development in academic institutions, firms, and public and non-profit institutions. Knowledge generation can also occur informally in a working environment through the activities and interactions of actors in the organization and an organization or the general economy. People are the critical input for knowledge generation. We all, whether as individual researchers in research teams or even in collectives such as organizational subunits or entire organizations. Therefore, indicators of knowledge generation focus on attributes of human capital inputs and other related outputs. More work needs to be done by academic institutions to ensure that graduates not only gain relevant knowledge and skills, but learn to think independently that better prepares them for the future work. Diversity in higher education, this has become a big task in higher education institutions with promoting learners' achievement and preparation for workforce competitiveness. The growth is impelled by ongoing globalization, which has brought rich cultural elements and diversity to all sectors, and higher education being no exception. Every higher education institution has now to put up its best foot forward to promote diversity in many ways, not just in terms of student communities, but also in faculty. As a premier agricultural institution, IRI has always been the most sought-after institution for higher education in agriculture. I know many of my friends, once they complete their bachelor's, they look for masters at IRI. Once they complete their masters, they look at IRI for PhD program. This has been a phenomenon since my college days. So it continues to today also. That speaks volumes about your institution. As a premier institution, IRI has always been the most sought after. However, we may benefit more if we can also have a good number of students from other countries learning at higher education institutions like this. I'm sure you have some numbers of foreign students, but it may be good to have a little more if the provisions allow you to do so. Another important issue that bothers the administrators in higher education is mental health awareness. The students of higher education institutions struggle with what is described as crisis and epidemic for the lingering mental health challenges. The prevalence of mental disorders among the students in higher education revealed that a significant percentage of students struggle with mental illness. This challenge has to be handled by the higher education institutions with innovative approaches. The challenge has to be innovative approaches, online resources, and creative programs to increase mental health awareness. Organizing panel discussions, role-playing, which you must have been doing already. Student testimonials and short videos can be useful approaches that can help to appropriately intervene to resolve at least some of these issues. And we cannot run away from the technologies that are coming up. As early as 1996, Professor Mehta was talking about a computer being given, or the need for use of a computer was felt both at my university when he visited, and immediately he got that idea for all of you here at IRI. We cannot run away and we cannot do without embracing the technologies. So the role of technology in higher learning is not only in equipping students with information, but also in bridging access to quality education. It should help sidestep the constraints of time and location to promote lifelong learning opportunities for all while encouraging creativity, curiosity, and collaboration. One technology that brings an outsized potential to achieve these benefits for higher education is artificial intelligence. Since it entered in the higher education realm, artificial intelligence has stirred a buzz thanks to the way the higher education industry trends are transforming the methods of doing things in this industry. There is a good deal of optimism that this emerging technology will automate and streamline workflows and processes that have been tedious for long. Keep up with the changing landscape in higher education. Rapidly changing landscape in higher education is being hit from all sides by social, curricular, technological, and financial changes. Higher education institutions that want to maintain a leg up on competitors and align better with their goal to produce marketable future employees should be prepared to adapt to these emerging trends in higher education. One of the things I will mention, the emerging technologies, virtual reality. It has simplified learning, making it necessarily accessible to all learners, regardless of their location. Additionally, artificial intelligence has enabled institutions to offer personalized learning to help learners gain the perfect blend of skills. All these developments explain why higher education pursuits like an online master's degree are gaining traction to rein in all these technologies and turn them into meaningful components of higher education. There is a need to focus on closing the skills gap, which we are regularly attempting through different workshops, online training programs, all that we are trying to do. Probably we need to have many more of them and more rigorously than what they are done in the current day for us to stay more relevant. The future of work is already a race between technology and education. In other words, as technology advances, education systems should metamorphose, anticipate, and prepare for the impact of digital on the workforce. The higher education institutions ought to focus on molding future employees by imparting knowledge, skills, and competencies that are demanded in the job markets. For this reason, there is an urgent need to reimagine degree programs. There is an urgent need to reimagine the degree programs, courses, and curricula in general to meet the needs of modern learners while keeping pace with the evolving workforce and future trends in higher education. This is one thing which has been doing many good things in general in higher education, these massive online courses, these MOOCs. And this has created a large number of participants and provide free access and can be accessed anytime, anywhere by anyone as long as they have an internet connection. Another interesting fact about the MOOCs they are not fixed into traditional semester models. That is something which helps the people to learn at their comfort, which is part of the new education policy. They don't want to tie down the student to a particular structure and also to a particular tenor. And that is something which the MOOCs can actually complement for such kind of programs. The students can start a course at any time and can be of any length. Better still, most of the courses are short and highly focused on specific higher education topics, especially in these MOOCs. We may be able to offer a full-fledged course, but we need not think about a full-fledged course. There can be short courses that can bridge the knowledge gap and the skill gap for the students who are learning. This makes them a compelling prospect for learners who want to gain a deeper understanding of one area. This is one area where we need to, all of us, think about it, because we are all, we look at the director, we look at the vice chancellor, we look at the education minister, we look at the government for the support systems. And on the other side, we have hundreds of private institutions coming up, and they have multiple models with which they can offer education, and so many things are happening. There is a lot of tussle between these public funded institutions versus the private institutions that is happening. The overall giving in higher education institutions is nominal in India. Giving in the sense, I was very happy in the morning during breakfast time when Professor Mehta mentioned that he promised his father that he would like to give back to his area and the kind of work that he is doing to improve the lives of people around with the kind of his family, the kind of trust that they have set up, and the kind of extension of knowledge and education and then training the people around, how it has transformed that region. Likewise, this has been a culture globally, and very little it has happened in India. It is happening, it has happened very little. The giving back to the institution which has, he is giving back to his place, and giving back to institutions also has been one of the important planks in higher education. This overall giving in higher education is nominal in India, which is a bad news. Putting the onus on the governments in public universities. However, efforts made in different universities and deemed to be universities have been successful in India with innovative approaches adopted by the higher education institutions. People in Delhi, you must have read about the special drive that was created by the director of Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, inviting his alumni to create the fund. And that was a real great success. As an institution of eminence, IIT Delhi has collected a huge sum of alumni fund. And that gives them a lot of liberty in handling things and doing things for the institution. BITS Pilani has been getting like that as a deemed to be university, and several IITs get it. The exact amount contributed by each state towards this course can vary widely. The decreasing funding from the state governments has not been addressed by the administrators in higher education institutions to look for supplementary funding elsewhere. We cannot go on with a begging bowl every time, so increase this. Sir was telling, increase that budget he was requesting, and only some 3 crores was increased. But where that 3 crores can be used, you need a lot more of that kind of a budget. And it is better we promote a culture of giving back. The higher education institutions have to start creating initiatives that can pick the interest of businesses and private entities to fund learning. When we go to developed nations, we find so many of them supported. In India also we have, but it is not so significant as of now. Technology and management institutions like IITs and IIMs largely benefited in getting funds which improved the faculty of research, patents and consultancies, and also the consequential generous alumni funding. All these things have happened there. And that is not happening in other institutions, conventional universities, SAUs, and universities deemed to be universities like IRI. Can some of us emulate these institutions of national importance in raising this kind of an alternate funding is something which we can think of. In my larger opinion, that the major weaknesses that we have in higher education are like the routine courses that we offer, the age-old curricula, the routine learning, the least experiential learning that we are offering, faculty not competent to use technologies, edu-technologies, poor preparedness to handle courses online, and absolutely no thirst for innovation, poor ambience for research, complete dependence on government for finances are some of the major weaknesses that we have today. And as a result, there is a huge gap in what is expected by the students, parents, society, and what is delivered in our publicly funded higher education institutions. The higher education institutions that are performing well globally have overcome several, if not all, of these problems to remain relevant. We therefore need to revamp higher education system, bringing in systemic changes in a systematic way, not to become totally redundant. There is an urgent need to bring edu reforms for a perceptible change in building knowledge-based society to realize our dreams of developed India. Reformative changes can be designed, planned, developed, and implemented across the higher education institutions to bring a total transformation where the graduates will be industry ready and will have more confidence to progress in their careers. For this, the areas that we need to an immediate focus could be the design and review curriculum, keeping in view of the needs of the 21st century, encourage use of interactive instructional techniques like focused group discussions, projects, presentations, etc. I know majority of these are followed in IRI as part of the training. Most of these are followed, I know very well. That's where I said whatever I'm talking is not exactly keeping IRI in mind. I'm talking about in general education institutions. Promote strategies for development of soft skills, learning to learn, communication skills, team building, etc., and promote use of e-resources, encourage teachers for action research, encourage teachers for experiment, new teaching technologies, strategies, and disseminates findings of research for wider usage, and create conducive environment for faculty to be entrepreneurs or offer at least consultancy services. I would like to switch to the last part of it, the experience that I have. I'm not going to share all the experience, but a little of that as a Vice Chancellor. We believe that innovation is the key driver for the development of nation, all of us know. And the two familiar faces that you see on the screen, they are more familiar to you than anybody else, Swaminathan and Kurian. And Sarboy, today we are all happy with the space research and our achievements, thanks to the visionaries like Sarboy, who have been key drivers in this innovation, and they have contributed to the development of this nation. And in 2015, when we look at as a big country, that was the time when I was appointed as Vice Chancellor. When we look at our contributions to the Innovation Index, we are far below. Somewhere we were about 80, 80 was our number in the Innovation Index, Global Innovation Index. Thanks to the efforts that are made in the recent, in the last decade, I would say, if we assume that we are almost to the end of the 2014, we have successfully reached to the Innovation Index of 40. That's a big jump in a way, but not a significant jump. A big jump, but not a significant jump. As a nation which has such kind of a human resource and manpower, we should have, and creativity, and if we are really able to innovate, we should have actually got a much better number than 40. At least somewhere around 20 or 15 would have been a better number for us. What fortunately we are retaining is for the last 2 years. We are not sliding. That's a good news. But at the same time, when we have more than 1 lakh startups, and some of them have matured to become unicorns, we should have more of unicorns coming up from the country. That has not been happening. And the public institutions and innovation, the government support to the knowledge creation and technological progress play a crucial role in enabling innovation and entrepreneurship. We believe that in addition to the core objectives of higher education, as a university, we need to contribute to the economic development by translational research. This is something which we have to move little away from the conventional way of looking at the things. And success stories of IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, and IIT Hyderabad have been were in front of us when we were looking at this as an opportunity. And they have been taken as models, and we have built a high quality 30,000 square feet incubation place. I will only say you will have to see to believe it. You will have to see to believe it. I invite anybody in this audience, anybody who is online, to come and see at University of Hyderabad what is there in that innovation center. More than 100 companies are startup companies have incubated, and in fact, we have promoted, we have brought in a policy, what we call as faculty enterprise scheme. In that, if a faculty member has an interest to translate her or his technology by setting up a company, they are allowed to do so, and they don't have to quit the job and do that. They can be the teacher and also be a founder of a company in the university. That is what we have, faculty enterprise scheme. Gist of it I was talking about. There are many things that there built into that faculty enterprise scheme that we have brought. And as a university, we were in the forefront. Otherwise, it would not have been possible for us to get what Professor Sharma was talking about, an institution of eminence. In 2010 itself, we were recognized and we were given support by the Department of Science and Technology to have a technology business incubator. But unfortunately, it went into wrong hands, and it has not taken any major steps. And by the time I took charge, it was not really in shape, and in fact, DST was unhappy with what we were doing. And I had to make a couple of visits to the DST to convince them, we will definitely do better from now, and please give us a chance. And that they never gave, for next 3-4 years, they never gave us the chance because the reputation was so bad by then. But now they are extending their full support after they realized what we have done. And we have now set up what is called, of course, there are different units, technology, industrial liaison, and entrepreneurship unit that we have set up. The faculty enterprise scheme that I was talking about. And we have, in 2018, the BIRAC-supported BioNest investment has come to us. And then in 2018, we have set up a not-for-profit company, a Section 8 company under University of Hyderabad, and the acronym for that is ASPIRE, the Association for Scientific Pursuits for Innovative Research Enterprises. That under this umbrella, we have all these 3 incubators and the incubation system. Entrepreneurship, incubation and entrepreneurship ecosystem has been nurtured at University of Hyderabad, and we are proud of that today with these achievements. This is the kind of structure that we have, an Aspire company, and then the technology business incubator, and this is electronic and communication related incubator, and this is the life sciences related incubator, BioNest. So last lines that I would like to share. As a teacher, I enjoyed teaching and research for 35 years. 27 students got their PhD. Most of them are in good place, most of them I would say, and more than 50% of them are in teaching in different universities, central universities, state universities, and some of them in postgraduate centers also. I'm so happy about it. Some of them have settled abroad, that's a different story, it's their choice. And I was happy that as a chief warden, I have put in my best effort to improve the living conditions and quality of food for the students in a hostel. And as the head of the department, I introduced a course in molecular microbiology in my department. I was sharing with, I think, Atul yesterday. We never bothered. I always, even on a platform of this kind, I tell you, I believe that universities are autonomous. I never would like to agree that regulatory bodies should tell you what you should do. Universities are created as autonomous institutions, and they should exercise their autonomy to the fullest possible way. And when we introduced molecular microbiology, there is no title like molecular microbiology in UGC list. When we introduced plant biology and biotechnology, MSc, there is no such a course listed in UGC. But we went ahead. For years and decades we have been offering, and students are attracted, and most of them are well placed. So we believed in autonomy. I believed it as the head of the department. I believed it as a teacher. I believed it as vice chancellor. Rainwater harvesting system, my vice chancellor has assigned to me, and today, if anybody comes to the campus, this is the best time. In the next 1 week to 10 days, if you come, you will see how much of water we have harvested, because there were plenty of rains in the recent past. And as a vice chancellor, it was a challenge to convince my faculty. They will say that all of them are in agriculture economics. They would not budge an inch and say that they would like to offer another course. There are more than 20 faculty members, and there is always a pressure. When you have 20 faculty members, normally 7-8 faculty members are good enough to offer a PG program. Why are you not offering another PG program? I had to do a lot of exercise, and a big effort was made by all my faculty in the academic council, particularly the economics faculty, to stop introducing a second economics program, which we called it as financial economics. But we made it through, we got it through the academic council and introduced that, and it is going on for the last 7 years. And of course, there was not much of a resistance. This is a problem. You don't want to get out of your zone of comfort. If you are comfortable teaching what you have, and why should I have additional things? That's something which we should come out as teachers, and we should be willing to change. We should be not offering resistance for change. Sanskrit, music, and women's studies introduced to master's programs. That was one thing. And the last thing is, the first thing that Professor Sharma mentioned, it was the biggest satisfaction that I had as a teacher and as an administrator when we proposed a very concise proposal to the ministry. The ministry officials were surprised when I submitted that proposal. They said, "Dr. Saab, is this your proposal? Is this all your proposal?" I said, "Yes, this is our proposal." And when we defended, we were very confident that we will be selected. And that was the kind of interaction that we had with the so-called Eminent Expert Committee, EEC they called it those days, for selection. And we were extremely happy when we got this special grant, along with 5 Indian Institute of Technologies, 4 IITs, 1 University of Science, and 3 universities. And University of Hyderabad was one. I was extremely happy with that. With this, I would like to thank every one of you for giving me this opportunity, for listening to me, some of my ideas, some of my thoughts on higher education. And I hope I have made some sense to all of you on this Teachers' Day, and I hope I have not bored you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that amazing and outstanding lecture. I request the dignitaries to kindly take their seats on the dais. I bow to that wonderful, insightful, inspirational talk, and I wish your words last forever. I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, you must have enjoyed the lecture throughout, and therefore I request each one of you in joining me in acknowledging the outstanding and persuasive lecture by Professor Apparao sir with a hail loud applaud. Thank you so much, and I now very humbly invite and request Dr. S.L. Mehta sir, Honorable Chair of the session, for his expert remarks.
Friends, I hope you will agree with me that we had a wonderful exposition of some of the issues that I'm sure we all are facing in education system. And this has been based on his own experience of working in a university, leading a university, and having a discussion with the faculty. So we would like to really thank you most profusely for that. I will just briefly sum, I will not say what he has already articulated, but I will like to highlight few things and then say what initiatives we have taken and what we really need to take now onwards. He said change is a must, but change is most difficult. We all have seen, and I have not seen yet a person who will say that we don't want quality education. But I have seen few who are wedded to quality education. You know, in the system you see people who can talk, but you have to be ground realist in order to make improvement in education. You can't do it without having a grasp knowledge of this. One point that he mentioned was a diversity. I think having a diversity in every sphere, whether it's faculty, whether it's a student community, and you can see institutions which have diversified faculty, which have diversified student community, are the ones which are in the forefront. I think IRE also, we have had good fortune right from the beginning that I think if we have to find one institution which is totally diversified, so far as student community is concerned, it's IRE, that we have taken students, the best cream of this country from everywhere. This is also true for faculty in IRE, but it's not true of state universities. I think what Professor Apparao articulated is true for central universities and universities which are, I would say, funded well. There are many others also funded well. But I think diversity is one which we really need to focus because there is a lot of regionalism and there is a lot of parochialism. You know, people don't want to move or they don't want to come or we don't want to take them. It's both ways, but it's important. The other part is the learning. I think most important part is all institutions will have to focus on skill development. I think somewhere it's more true for technical subjects. And in ICR we made a major reform right in 2006 of introducing experiential learning. And Government of India provided almost at that time for a 5-year period 600 crores to set up experiential learning labs across universities. And that has led to a major transformation in terms of skill development among students. It provided them confidence and the power of entrepreneurship is tremendous. All our institutions within ICR, I am sure you are aware that KVKs and SAUs have focused more on entrepreneurship development. And today, if you go across country, you will find entrepreneurs who have really excelled, not only locally, but many of them have gone into international markets. And that's another major change which has come. Point also he said about generating resources. I think the most important part, most institutions should generate resources like IITs. I think the beginning is being made at IRE now with the alumni, because in agriculture faculty I have not seen, excepting 2 or 3 universities, especially US Bangalore, where the alumni have played a role in supporting. And now alumni are coming forward, and I think that's one area where a lot of support can be generated in order to improve either infrastructure or bring home the advantages of the skills that our alumni have. You know, it's a kind of support which alumni can offer. Innovation and entrepreneurship go together. I think we have to be very innovative, and I just want to give you an example. We taught these tribal families I was mentioning how to grow vegetables in my area. And you would be surprised, in the near Mount Abu, there's a Mungthala village, small village. And if you have to raise the income of the farmer, there is no other way than to support them in the area of horticulture, especially vegetables, fruits, and also promote dairy. But we thought that if you have to do in a short time frame, nothing other than vegetables can help. So we taught them how to grow vegetables, especially lady's finger at that time. And I got a report about 6 months back from Dr. N.S. Rathod, who was the Vice Chancellor at MPOT later. And the report was that he went to the same farmer in Mungthala village, and he sent to me a picture of his. And now the farmer is, according to them, the farmer is earning rupees 15 lakh. Please mind, 15 lakh per hectare per year. I can vouch that no scientist can earn that much money, but he is doing it. And when they sent me the picture, I could see that the kind of innovation that the farmer did. He used stakes, bamboo stakes, to make bitter gourd grow vertically, so that when the fruits develop, they, because of gravity, they are longer, they are better, and yield increases, productivity is enhanced. Now, that's the kind of innovation our people can do. People are very innovative. All that we need to is bring this kind of knowledge, the skill gap that exists can be reduced. He mentioned about incubation facilities. I think in NIP, we started with this setting up our incubation facilities. In NIP, Wholesome. I think first time ICR started public-private partnership in NATP using World Bank funded project. And then in NIP, we made a whole value chain with the private sector. And bringing entrepreneurs, young people forward, the government of India has made now a number of schemes, especially for promoting startups. And in millets alone, IIMR has promoted about 1,500 startups in Hyderabad. And then, so the potential is immense. What is needed is each university, as Dr. Parab mentioned, can have very functional these incubation centers. In ICR, through entire ICR system, we have set up this, what we used to call it ZMU, Zonal Business Center, Incubator Centers. And these have played a very major role in transferring the technology. Our institutions are getting more money now in terms of resources, revolving funds are increasing. Now, gentlemen, problems are many. And one of the words that my professor, Dr. N.V. Das, said, and I keep it to my heart, he said, never grumble in life. You know, I was doing MSc here. That time it was a big lab. In IRE, the biggest lab. But the most poor lab from the eyes of the young student who joined IRI, because there was hardly anything of new equipment. It was a Clade submersion cultimeter, a BOD incubators, etc. So, and he worked with 2 Nobel laureates, Professor Von Euler and St. Georgii, for 12 years. And having come here, so I had audacity of asking him, I said, sir, why did you come to this lab after working 12 years? Then he took me, he said, sit down. He said, never grumble in life. Remember, Rome was not built in one day. You start with what you have and you will be able to build Rome one day. Such a great advice to me, and I've kept it to my heart. I think time has come where each one of us have major contribution, and that is why I said in the beginning also, there cannot be a better profession than teaching. Each one of us can do wonders, and it is the work of such people, dedicated people, that will make India a developed nation by 2047. With these words, I once again felicitate, convey my greetings to all of you. Hope that God blesses you to fulfill your dreams of making India a developed nation by 2047. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your expert remarks. We always look up to you for your blessings and guidance. And besides the new ideas, innovations and novelties we learn from you. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we can have no one better than you, sir, as the chairman of this very important session. Thank you for being with us. And I'll be now requesting Dr. T.R. Sharma, sir, Honorable Director, to felicitate Honorable Chairman of our session with a shawl and memento as a pleasant memory from IRI. Thank you, sir. I again request you to kindly present one shawl and memento as a pleasant memory to the Honorable Speaker of today's lecture as well. Thank you, sir. And I am now very pleased to share with you that on this auspicious occasion, the students of IRI are willing to present one handmade painting to our most loved chairman of the session, the learned speaker of the session, and also our beloved director, sir. I invite Ms. Priyanka, who has made this painting, along with the cultural secretary of PGSSU, Mr. Sugavaneshwaran, to present one to the chairman, to the speaker, and honorable director of the session. We'll wish to present one to our director, sir, also. Please. So Priyanka is a PhD student from Plant Genetic Resource, IRI. Thank you all, and as we are close to end our program, I request Dr. H.K. Dikshit sir to propose words of thanks for the successful conclusion of the program. Sir.
Most respected chief guest of today's Teachers' Day celebration, Professor S.L. Mehta, former Vice Chancellor, MPUAT, Udaipur, and former DDG Education, ICR. Speaker of today's program, Professor Apparao Podail, former Vice Chancellor, University of Hyderabad. Honorable Director, Dr. T.R. Sharma, sir, He's also serving as DDG Crop Science. Dr. Anupma Singh, Dean Graduate School. Dr. C. Vishwanathan, Joint Director Research. Dr. VP Singh, most eminent rice breeder of the Institute. And Dr. Brahmanand, Director WTC, Head of Divisions. Rashmi Madam, ex-Dean, Head of the Divisions, professors, faculty members, and students. Briefly, I'll give some information about Genetics Club. Genetics Club was established in Division of Genetics for better interaction among students and faculty members. We organize activities like scientific discussion and then Teachers' Day celebration and also induction program for new students. Whenever some foreign visitors is there, we try to arrange lecture for them, online or offline mode. We also organize Mendel Symposium in the division. Today I also remember the past president of Genetics Club like Dr. B.P. Pal, Dr. Swaminathan, and breeders like Dr. Mathur in wheat, and division flourished under their leadership. And then Genetics Club was celebrating Teachers' Day program at divisional level. Then slowly we started celebrating at institutional level. And then in last few years, we joined hands with PG School to upscale the Teachers' Day celebration. It's my proud privilege to propose word of thanks from Institute. Teachers' Day is an occasion to submit ourselves with resolve to this noble profession. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Professor Appa Rao Podail, a teacher par excellence, an eminent academician and administrator of repute, for his gracious presence and sharing valuable insights and expertise on drivers of change in higher education. We are truly honored to have you here, sir. Thank you, and thank you very much indeed, sir. We are very thankful to Professor S.L. Mehta ji for introducing the speaker, chairing the session, and for crisp summarization of the lecture of the speaker for upscaling of changes in higher education. Words may fall short to express my thanks and gratitude for our beloved director, Dr. T.R. Sharma ji, for guiding, leading, and motivating us to strive for excellence. I am very thankful to our most dynamic dean, Madam Dr. Anupma Singh, for her guidance and support. She is available 24 hours every day. And in the end, it's my honor and privilege to thank all those who helped in for making this event successful, especially Dr. Sahu, Dr. D.K. Singh, and there are many, many people. Sir, we arranged the facilities in this hall were arranged in last 6-7 days only to make it functional. A wide round of applause and thanks to all the participants.
Thank you very much, sir. I request all of you to kindly rise for the national anthem. Thank you all, and with that, we may be allowed to conclude the program. I invite all of you for a cup of tea which has been served outside. Thank you for gracing the occasion. Have a great day. Shubh Din, Namaskar, and a very happy Teachers' Day.